Welcome to Horror Movies and Beyond. Today I'm joined by the director of a supernatural horror short film, You Promised. Let's welcome Matthew Hersh. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you for coming on here. I got a chance to look at this short film, your short film, and it hit me very differently. And some of it was a little angry. I was a little angry. I was like, wait a minute. But it was also sad. It was very sad. And it felt like it hit a core part of my feelings, and we're going to talk a little bit about the story. So, a series of terrible decisions. A young man struggling from the loss of his wife is hunted by an unkept promise. Please tell me a little bit more in depth of how you came about with this story.
Yeah, well, first and foremost, I self-fund a lot of my projects. So, getting funding and making anything is difficult in this industry. So, it really started with an idea of what if I keep someone in the same place for an extended period of time and they're haunted and they can't get out? Because, a lot of times you see like a movie, it's like, why aren't they leaving? So, I figured like it really just started with an idea of just having somebody on house arrest and
Mm.
they're stuck dealing with something and they can't leave. So, just kind of being in that confined space. And then just kind of just was building a story around that. And I had like 15 revisions. I kept going, adding more, and it really just it evolved into what it is now, and it's exciting to see.
It felt like this wasn't a made up story. Like there were some parts, well, obviously there are some things in there that was may or may not been true, but it felt more personal.
Hmm.
Especially, if you make a promise to someone
Yeah,
about a situation and you don't keep the promise, it's that guilt, but then you're trying to do whatever you can to keep it even after the fact, after it has dismantled in
yeah.
some way. Have there been a story that you read or yourself experienced, or someone with some of the events, not, it doesn't have to be all of them of course, but in some way have some kind of relation to the story on a personal level?
I feel like it's just the human experience. We all kind of
Mm.
have those emotional connections, and it's just about like living, putting your experiences on paper, and then just fabricating certain things here and there to also tell a story and to also make the audience feel a certain way. And also at the end of the day too, for this film especially, I really have to credit the actors involved. Like the actors took the script and they just went all out. And our lead Justin Miles, like he won, I think like it was like a few Best Actor awards, including like Days of the Dead, Shockfest. He's been killing it. And he just the emotions he was able to just convey in this story were really incredible. And I'm lucky to be working with him and just the whole cast. I think I'm going to credit them more than anything on that. Yeah,
Well, they even though they did do that,
yeah,
believe me, their performances were well, but it also takes someone who gives them some direction towards
definitely.
that place to go.
Hmm.
Anyone could go anywhere, but if you have a great director that could give them a blueprint of the vision and
Yeah.
then let them take that vision and make it their own, then you
Yeah.
get great actors.
Hmm.
I believe
It
so.
was, yeah, it was definitely a team effort. And even then, it's like you have like three different movies. You have one in the script, you have the one that you're shooting, and you have the one in the editing room. And when I went to the editing room with my friend Samuel Gonzalez Jr., he's a director as well. I've learned so much from him. We were kind of putting everything together, and the ending in the film wasn't originally in the script or what was shot. We went back and I shot that to add to the end, just so it ended on a bang like that. So that wasn't even originally in the idea. It was just it's about surrounding yourself with the right team and just working with the right people. And it's just, yeah, as a director, I know I'm taking the lead on this one, but it's also about just putting the pieces together and just seeing everything come together and what we can do as a unit.
Exactly. So this film opens up with Will sitting on the couch, and there's a Ouija board
Yeah.
there, and there's tissue everywhere. So you could tell he is just distraught, sad, and he's trying to summon something or bring something back. Or maybe he's just sitting around and want to play the Ouija board because it was fun and he had nothing to do.
Mm-hmm.
And he was on house arrest because you could see that because of the ankle bracelet. This is where it got me because Carol's like, hey, is this the last? What are you doing? And he, I guess, was into some kind of narcotics or something. So how do you go from I want to do whatever I can for this dream of yours to something so dangerous? I just thought, like, you just jeopardize everything for a promise that you could have taken a different route, but you took the easy way out, the easy way. And the person that usually gets hurt is the one that wasn't involved in the first place or disagree. And that was like it really hit me because I've been in a situation like that, not with drugs, but
Yeah.
in a situation where someone decides to do something and the other person is not even involved.
Well, yeah, definitely, because it's like he took that decision, and I mean, he had good intentions, but it was definitely the wrong choice and the wrong path. And when she was hurt in exchange on that, I mean, that only makes him feel even worse. Like, especially being on house arrest after, just living that way with yourself. Like, how do you live with yourself when you put someone that you love in danger? And I mean, that's just like just having him. Just imagine just being stuck in a place and just having that remorse, and it's just it's painful. I mean, I was thinking about that, and that's why I put that on the screen because I mean, I figured that would also give the audience. I mean, they would feel for him, but they would also feel for her because, like, yeah, you made a decision, you fucked up, but then at the same time, that wasn't your intention, and we could see that, but you still didn't take the right road. You should have done something else, and he knows that, and the audience knows that. So I think that's where that connection is.
I mean, this movie took you to A to Z fast, but it made sense. It wasn't like it
Yeah,
was like, wait, where did this come from? But that's the point. Something as a promise, especially all it takes is one last time. Just is this the last time? The
yeah,
last time, it seems to be always the time where things go wrong.
mm-hmm.
And it did. I mean, now they're, being tied up, things are happening left and right. And the person who suffers was Carol. That was
Mm-hmm.
messed up. I thought I did not see that coming like that so quickly and then double take. Like it was just wow. I mean, she wasn't even involved. Like how was shooting that scene because that whole thing was just so gut wrenching, especially from the leg to the head. It was like, wait a minute.
Yeah. Because
Hold
at
up.
first, like,
I
oh
wasn't
yeah,
ready.
yeah. So, I mean, the leg is like one thing. It's like, okay, they left a mark. She's gonna be hurt for a while, but she'll be good. But then it just escalates, and it's just like, holy shit. And I mean, getting a chance to see that play in festivals and just seeing an audience reaction to it every single time, people gasp, and it's kind of crazy to see just because it is such an intense moment. And I mean, when we were shooting that, I know our actress Mariah. I know like the next day her voice was a little coarse because she was yelling a lot there. But I mean, a funny story about that. I mean, she was yelling so loud that the cops were called on us, and the cops actually actually came on set, and like they ended up coming in and they're just seeing everything. They're like, okay, cool, and they walked away, which was just kind of surreal to me because I'm looking, I'm like, there's fake drugs here, there's blood, there's everything, and they're just like, they just wanted to walk in there like, oh, everything's cool, it's all good, and they walked out. But yeah, so if anything, like when we're shooting it, we're having a good time, we're having a blast. But then like when everything comes together, when you put the when you mix the sound, when you put the score in, it takes a unit to kind of bring that and to invoke that emotion. Because like a lot of that, the sound and the score really does help carry that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That that probation officer. Oh my gosh. He was a jerk. I mean, just a flat out jerk. And the I like the little touches of humor
Yeah,
that happened, especially after something so tragic. It was just like, whoa, okay, where are we going with this? From them to the PO, it was just,
yeah. Well, I
jeez.
mean, when you're in the system at that point, you're just a number to them. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you're stuck in the system, and I'm the probation officer's like, all right, he's one of many people I'm dealing with, and I mean the drug dealers don't care; they just care about the money. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's stuck in the situation, and I mean, I wanted to add the comical elements with the parole officer, especially because when you go to an intense sequence like that, you have to also give the audience a little bit of a break too, and also like they have to enjoy it as well. Like you have to have those ups and downs because I mean horror really works well when there's humor.
Mm.
Otherwise, it's just like you're watching it and it's a painful experience throughout. Which I've watched those films, I enjoy some of those, but my favorite films always have humor in it. So whatever I do, I always like adding that as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought the balance of it all kind of it's like a roller coaster ride. It really is because there's different elements, and you go from like a crime thriller into like a paranormal.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I just think I always love blending subgenres and yeah, just making it a little different. Because I mean, when you're watching a horror film, you know, okay, there's going to be blood, there's going to be some crazy sequences, so the audience
Mm-hmm.
already knows what to expect. You just have to give them something different than what they expected, but still make them satisfied. And I think we did that with this
Yes.
project.
Yes. It's the touch of paranormal was interesting in a sense of it kind of it kind of makes you revert back to the beginning. Remember the beginning, it
Yeah,
explains with no words the situation, the atmosphere, the scenery of what you see, the Ouija board, the tissue, and everything, what has occurred and what door has opened. And
yeah,
you hearing noises, and then, going to the bathroom, and then it was like, written on the glass, you promised, and you're just like, okay, how are you going to get out of this situation? What is that? Is it something else? Is it demonic? I mean, there's all kind of thoughts that come to your mind. And then, like you said, the little bits of humor is
yeah,
he's on house arrest. So in his mind, instead of running out, which I would have done, I would like, you know what?
yeah.
There.
I'm
I
out.
don't care. Yeah, let them come because then that helps me out.
Hmm.
But he's like leaning out the door. I was like calling his BO. Can I leave? What? Like he would have known I left because the
Yeah.
the little whatever button would have went off or whatever. Who cares? So I
Hmm.
do like the touches of humor, but in a very serious situation. But it
Yeah.
kind of dies down from there. It's like, okay, oh my gosh, these thugs are back. And it just like, okay, where is this going? But like I said, there's so many unexpected elements. Um, especially with the 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 scene with the thugs and what has happened to them. How was that special effects going? Like, how did you plan of the details of what happens to the one thug versus the other?
Well, I just being a fan of horror films, I always like creative kills. And I thought with the rope, with the first one, with Swerve's character, I thought that it kind of came back to the beginning because he was the one who tied her up. So she's
Mm-hmm.
protecting, even though she's mad at him, she's still protecting him. So
Mm-hmm.
the rope symbolized like, all right, like he tied me up, now I'm gonna get him with it. And
Mm-hmm.
then afterwards, the knife, I mean, was just it was what was there. It made sense because he tried, he failed, and she
Mm-hmm.
came to clean up the mess. And that was yeah, that kill especially. That was a lot of fun to do.
Mm.
Yeah, on set.
Going back to what I was saying, like the anger part for me, because kind of touched on a little bit of it, but the anger part with me is that like it hit close to home because being in a relationship, past relationship or whatever, it's like the person never consider someone's feelings or how it can hurt them and what the consequence is. And by watching that, it just felt like there's always a better plan. And the person that ends up hurt is the person, like I said, is not involved. But it was just like, well, why go through that in the first place? Why not listen? You want to help her, you want her to achieve her goals, and she had this big plan of this house, this dream. Why take such a selfish way? And I felt like the film showed more selfish with the character, with Will, than anything else, because I feel like he was still being selfish. Even the cause of her death and him trying to figure out what he's going to do, like let her rest. No, you were thinking about yourself. let me use this Ouija board, even if it would happen or not, you're still thinking about yourself. Like she still has not rested from anything that he has done. Just let it be. Like you failed. You're in your own world of hatred, but instead of apologizing, like we never hear it. We never hear him like, or not hear it, but we never see a real apology. Like
Yeah.
we never felt like he was really sorry for what happened. It was just like, I got caught, now these thugs and everything. And it was just like, geez, like
Mhm.
really? And
Yeah.
I've been in a situation like that where you still haven't gotten an apology of something so horrific.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, even like in
but
a relationship
yeah.
too, it's like you could have like good intentions, but it doesn't mean that that's going to be good for that person that you're with.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's all he knew. Maybe like he didn't know how to make any other money. He didn't know how to provide that lifestyle for her, so he reverted back to what he knew what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, like yeah, some people are just stuck in that cycle, and it just happens, and they could drag whoever down with them.
She never appeared until he just was at the end. I mean, the thugs are gone. The PO found the bodies. Obviously, he must have knocked them out. I mean, it's implied because you see the broken thing next to him. And then he was like, I'm going to give up. Like, it was always selfish. Like, I'm just going to give up, whatever. And that's why I feel like he had the gun and he was just going to, find the easy way out. Like, he's always finding the easy way. To me, based on visual, how I see
Yeah.
it, she stopped him or she helped him. Now, we don't hear anything happen, but I feel like, oh no, we're not going to stop. Like okay, let me start all over here. Like there
Yeah.
are two things that could come out of that. One, he stopped himself. Well, she stopped it, and two, she helped him.
Yeah.
But I don't think she would help him because that means he would hurt. I don't think she was ready for that. But I think she was stopping him because no, you're not taking the easy way out. You promised. So
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is, it even though she's a ghost, is a punishment. Was
Yeah.
that something trying to convey in that part? Because I was getting punishment. No, this is your punishment. You're going to suffer all of this because you promised and you didn't fulfill that promise. I am dead. I'm back. I'm a ghost now. You can't just get away with it. That's
Yeah.
kind of what I was feeling.
Well, the thing that I love about the ending, especially, is it invokes conversation. People are like,
Yeah.
"Did this happen? Did this happen?" They're thinking afterwards, and I
Mhm.
love films where you're done, you're thinking after. It's not just, "Oh, that's what happened. That's it. Okay, next thing." It's
Mhm.
kind of you marinate with it for a while, and with that one, uh, it's actually people have thought that actually isn't what I was thinking with it.
Oh, I'm
In
sorry.
that
Which one were you thinking? The
well,
one of
no, no. So at the end too, like
oh.
when you see the PO on the ground dead,
Mhm.
you see his left hand. If you look at that closely, that shot, there's no gun in that left hand immediately. Then all of a sudden we go steady cam go around. Then there's a gun that just appears.
Exactly. Yeah.
So there's also the paranormal element to where it's like, did he kill the PO? Did she kill the PO? I
Mm.
thought that she killed. I think that she killed him.
Mhm.
And then now he's like dealing with everything. And then all of a sudden this gun appears, and then you see him bringing it up, and then all of a sudden you see that she's there. But my intention with it was she put the gun there, she raised it up to him, and now she's giving him the choice. Do you want to join me, or do you want to live in this shit that you created for the rest of your life? And the ball's in his court.
Mm.
So yeah, there's a lot of elements and there's a lot of depth to that last scene specifically. And that scene wasn't in the original script. That was something that like Sam and I both created in the editing room to kind of just help bring it all together. Because again, too low budget filmmaking, we're shooting all this stuff. We were in a rush. We didn't get the shots we needed. So in the editing room, it's like, how are we going to make this work? And that came as a collaboration. And I really, really love that idea. And I love
Mhm.
ending it like that because, again, it gets people into it. Because, I mean, at first you think it's going to end. People are laughing at the end. And they go into that. And then it's just silent. Like
Mm.
every single time the theater's just silent. And yeah, I just, again, like I said before, I like to make people think afterwards. to be like what happened. And the cool thing is like you had a whole different perspective on that, and
Mm-hmm.
that makes total sense too. So it's like it's just all about how you look at it and what you think the way it works. But that was my intention was yeah was she pretty
Mm.
much was like, all right, are you gonna kill yourself and join me, or are you gonna uh I mean after that, like you're on house arrest, you have three dead bodies in this place now. What's your future looking like?
Well, if it was me, if I was her, I'd be like, no, you ain't coming here with me. You
Yeah,
stay here and clean up your mess.
yeah,
I would have snatched the gun. It would have went flying across the room.
hmm,
No way. Like, no
yeah,
way. Yeah, it did spark a conversation because
hmm,
I looked at that twice and I was like, is she helping him? Like, you know, or taking him out? Like,
yeah,
which one? But it did. I like that. I really do like that. It sparked a conversation. You're not 100% sure
yeah,
what exactly you are seeing, but it does satisfy the ending of the film. Like
yeah,
it doesn't leave you like what, like what's going on. No, and that's a tricky thing to do, to complete but incomplete. Like you know what I mean? So or incomplete,
hmm,
incomplete. What kind of word is that? Anyway,
yeah. Because there's a thin line there
but yeah.
too. Because there's films that I watched that were good the whole time, then it ended. It's just like, all right, I'm never watching this again. Like the ending pissed
Mm-hmm.
me off.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, you have to satisfy the audience, but then at the same time you have to make them think, and like it's difficult to have that balance. I think that's why I'm really
Um,
proud of that moment.
I would also, one other thing about this is that I could see that as a feature similar, oh, not the same, but similar to the Invisible Man, but
Hmm.
Visible Woman, which we don't have nothing like that.
Yeah,
That she's just getting him in all kind of ways, and no one believes him because yeah, right. Ain't no ghost doing you. And he's on house arrest, and so you got the PO and the cops looking for him and why he's running for his life. I mean, that would be pretty awesome feature. Have you thought of making like a feature out of that?
now that you mention that, I mean the fact that now like he's running from it and then she's still kind of following him throughout, that could actually be a really cool concept. Because with the whole concept itself, I thought that it really worked in that 20-minute span. I wouldn't want to extend it into a feature because otherwise I think it would be a little bit slower at times. But
Mm-hmm.
then to progress that story and to kind of go with that, I think that could make a pretty fun feature. But I mean, what's cool about this film, especially, is I've been blessed to work with such great people. It actually
Mm-hmm.
got picked up to be involved in a full feature film anthology that
Oh
connects.
wow.
It's four shorts included, and it all connects through a wall of missing persons posters. So each
Mm.
short represents a missing person. So I can't talk too much about that, but
Mm-hmm.
that film's going to come out end of the year,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't say with who yet, but yeah, stay tuned for that.
Well,
So
that's
I'm really
exciting.
excited for that process. Yeah,
Congratulations on that. And this
thank
one,
you.
I was there when it won an award at Midsummer Scream. What
Yeah,
award? I don't remember what award. What was that?
yeah, it was the best of the block. It
Oh,
was the I think Crimes and Passion. Yeah, it was the
oh,
Crimes and
okay.
Passion block. Yeah,
Oh,
that was really cool. Yeah, so yeah, shout out to Midsummer Scream. Thank you guys for including us, showing us love, and yeah, that was a really fun festival and convention. I've gone to that convention so many years, so it was cool being a part of it and winning that award.
so many
Yeah.
years. It's the first time there. That's the first time I talked to you, right?
Hmm.
With Doug and Chris, right?
Yeah, because
Oh, okay.
we met over at Spooky Empire in Orlando, Doug and I, because You Promise was playing there, and then his Sweetest Day Proof of Concept was playing there, and we met in Orlando. We noticed we lived right here, like down the road from each other, and we both love horror films, and we both just really connected that way. And I love working with Doug. He's a great friend and great collaborator.
Hmm. Yeah, I
Hmm.
interviewed him for, I think, Chris too.
Yeah.
Yeah, for Sweetest Day. That was a fun interview.
Hmm.
That was very fun. But yes, I want to say thank you so much for joining me on here to talk about You Promised. Congratulations on the awards and the next adventure for this. It was really, really done well. You could watch it a couple of times and see different things Because the first time I didn't see certain things, and the second time I was like, wait a minute. There's always some kind of level of learning in this film about yourself, about the characters, and that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. So, but
Thank
thank
you.
you so much. And whatever next you have on your journey, congratulations on that.
Thank you very much. Thank you for
Yeah.
having me. Thank you for enjoying the film, and yeah, it's
So,
exciting.
where can they? Is it still in a film festival, or where can they check out your short?
So the next film festival we'll be playing at will be the Hollywood Horror Fest on November 4th at 4:10 p.m. I think it's short film block two or three, but it's on their website, November 4th. And then it'll be out very soon as a part of that anthology.
Okay.
So if you wanted to follow me on Instagram at Matthew Hersh Films, that'll be where everything's posted on there, and news coming very soon for that. And that anthology, we have some great names attached, some great filmmakers, and I can't wait to talk more about it. I wish I could mention everything, but in due time, it will be out by the end of the year, so very soon.
Okay, make sure you guys check it out. It is worth it. And thank you so much for watching. And if you like more videos like this, make sure you like, subscribe, and don't forget to leave a comment. Until next time, everyone. Bye.